All right, cool. So let's see. Yesterday. So yesterday I was saying that pretty much when we got in this sale, pretty much I was waiting all day, pretty much for liquidity to come up here. And I mean for a price to come up here and grab liquidity in this spot and this spot. All right. It was like too visible, and it was visible because it left a gap on Eagle FX on that broker. It left a gap, it left 3 right here. It left like 1 right here. No, it left 2 right here, 2 gaps right here. Then it left 1 up here, and it went up and it grabbed both. So it got liquidity, but it also had some liquidity up here. And this was the last liquidity it really left as far as like visible, like on a broker. That was below. Where is it at? That was below. So it left all of this right here. Right? It left all of this, and that's pretty much where this was. Right? So that's pretty much where this liquidity was. But if you didn't know that, gaps are liquidity and you was using candles, you can see it over here. Let's see. And you can tell because the candle is always going to have, it's not going to have a wick at the top, right? So if you look at this candle right here, it's a flat top, right? It's a flat top, right? That means that that's pretty much signaling that liquidity is there or liquidity has been left. So that does mean that price has to come back, right? Price has to come back and it has to grab that, right? So today set up perfect because it came up here and it literally grabbed it, right? It literally grabbed it. If somebody didn't know what they was looking for, they probably would have tried to sell it up here, right? As soon as they got up here, they probably would have tried to sell it. And that was just like, that's bad, right? If you're going to get in the buy, you got to get in down here. You got to get in down here if you're just going to buy it. You can't get in when it's coming pretty much to do a liquidity grab. That's probably what some people did, and they probably got stopped out. But I was waiting for it the whole day, right? Because as far as like my confirmations, it didn't match up for a buy. Even though it did buy. And I was actually in a buy down here, like during Asian session, but I closed it right here. But anyways, I was in a buy like right here, and I closed it during Asian session like right there. But anyways, it came up. So once I saw it grab that liquidity, I was pretty much looking for an entry point for the sale. So let's see, and I'm gonna take it to the smaller time frame. So that's pretty much what I was doing, and I would have got in up here, but I was kind of busy this morning, so that's on me because this trade should have been 2,000 pips. Like it should have been 2,000 pips. Well, really, it should have been 26. It should have been 26 right now. As of right now, it should have been 26,000 or 2,600, right? Because I would have got in right here, right? Once it broke and confirmed, I would have got in. Yeah, that was the entry where I would have had one. My first entry would have been there. I would have put another one there. And this one, when I called a signal, would have been my third. I would have had 3 solid entries. And if I had 3 solid ones, I probably, I'm lying. I'd have just had 3. I don't do 4 too much, but I would have had 3 solid entries. But I missed it. So I only had 2. And then my second one, I had to low lot it. So I had to use like a 0.5 instead of a 10. But if I would have caught it up here, I'd have just used 3 10s because it happened perfect, right? With the liquidity grab, and then with it breaking structure, and then with it breaking pretty much the trend for the week right here. That would have been my third one, which was our original entry. But I would have used all 10s and it just flowed down, right? But I missed it, so I couldn't go in like that. But I mean, it was just a pretty trade, and I was waiting for it all week, even though, realistically, it's only been one day because Monday was a bank holiday. But I thought Monday was gonna move because Sunday night it was moving like very good. So I thought that, when Monday came, the 9:30 bell opened up, it was moving. It was moving around 8:30. I thought it was gonna move, and we kind of got trapped. So that L was on me. But today set up perfect. Today set up perfect. It did a clear liquidity grab up here. It grabbed that last bit of liquidity, came down, right, broke trend, then it broke structure, and it flowed down and hit some key points. And actually, when it got right here, it grabbed the first bit of liquidity down there to the bottom, right? So, and it's some more. So this is why I say I'm thinking it's going to do a continuation for a sell, right? I'm thinking it has to go to 11,000. Like I said before, it has to go to 11,000. And today, it kind of confirmed that it might go to 11,000 tomorrow. But let me give you those points. So it's, let me see. And regardless of what I say, we always react. So, if it buys, it buys. But if it continues to sell, these are just some points to keep track, right? Because this right here was a point for me. It was 11,400, right? Because it had liquidity at 11,407. It had it right there. But to the downside, we still have 11,025. That's the first one. So that's like over 3,000 pips down, right? That's the first one. The second one after that is 10,858. And then it's another point of 10,758. So those are 3 points where if price breaks down, it should reach, right? It should reach. Especially if it breaks this 11,200. If it breaks this 11,200, I know for sure it's going to get to those points, right? I know it's going to get to those points. It's at least going to get to 11,000 if it breaks. If it breaks 11,200, it's at least going to break down and go to 11,000, right? Somebody just got on. I'll explain it again real quick. All right, so pretty much what I was saying was today was a clear liquidity grab, right? Yesterday I said it grabbed liquidity right here and right here, or right here, right? Because this was during our session, right? So it grabbed liquidity right here, and right here, right? But look, that wasn't all of it, right? Today it grabbed the last bit. I'm gonna have to go to the hour. So, like I marked it weeks ago, right? It was liquidity right here left, right? So if you don't know, liquidity on a broker can be seen in a few ways. It's either going to leave a gap, right? That's a clear sign of liquidity. It's kind of like a glitch for the brokers, which kind of like shows us, it kind of like shows their hand, per se. But also, if you don't do that, yeah, you can tell because of the candles, right? The top is it's not gonna have a wick, right? So you see right here, this top has no wick. It's a clean top, right? That's a clear sign that liquidity has been formed, or liquidity is right there, or that, there's people in, right? And price has to come back and get it. So today was perfect because it came up and it got it, right? It came right there and got it, right? Came right there and it grabbed all of that, right? So today was perfect. Like I was saying before, I pretty much was waiting for the sale, just because I got you. But just because it didn't confirm for me for a buy, even though it did buy up, it just didn't confirm for me for a buy, right? So I was waiting patiently as it was selling, or waiting patiently for it to sell, and it set up perfect. So it grabbed that liquidity. That was the first sign. Broke trend right there. And then right here, it broke the weekly structure, right? And then went down to the downside. But like I was saying, though, everything is playing out to what I was saying before, as far as price is probably going, or price has a chance to get to 11,000 this week. My fault. But yeah, it has a chance, or a high probability, that price is going to get to 11,000 this week, just because of how things have played out, right? With it grabbing the liquidity on Tuesday, right? But then leaving the remainder for today, came up today and grabbed the remainder, right? Came down perfectly, hit those points. And also just now, it got one of those liquidity points to the downside, which was 11,407, right? And I was saying before you got on, there's three more spots, right, to the downside that it has to break, or it has to go back and grab. And those spots are 11,025, my fault, 10,858, right? And 10,758. Those are three more liquidity grabs, which if price continues to go down, is definitely going to get. If price breaks 11,200, right? This monthly trend, if it breaks this monthly trend, it's probably going to get to 11,000, right? It's going to get to 11,000, right? And that also right here is another monthly trend line right here, right? So if it comes down and it tests it right here, that'll be perfect, right? Because that's 11,055, right? It's coming right to the 11,000s. So everything's playing out. Monday was a bank holiday, so that was my fault too with the Monday loss, because we pretty much got trapped. Yeah, that was BS, but we got trapped in that. But everything is looking pretty good this week. So, and like I said before, if price buys, of course we're gonna react and we're gonna get in a buy. But how everything is playing out, I'm thinking it's going to be a continuation, right, from this sale that we called today. And it's going to continue to push down to the downside, right? And at least that's what I'm thinking. That's what price is showing so far. Everything is matching up. But that's pretty much it for this call. Did y'all have any questions? Was that pretty clear? It was pretty good today. Pretty good. I just wish I would have got in at my spot, which was 1,000 pips before 1,000 pips before I caught the signal. I needed that. Bet. All right. And this call is recorded, so I'm gonna drop it. I'm probably gonna drop it probably like Friday or Saturday. Just because I think this was a pretty good call, pretty clear. And I actually like wrote down the stuff for you guys. Oh, one more thing. Also, so you guys know, right? I'll take it to the smaller time frame. Anytime you're watching price, pay attention to the candles, right? So like yesterday, right? It only went 8,000 to the downside and then it brought up, right? So it pretty much, if you look at it or if you look back or, you back test, it's kind of like it set up yesterday, right? It didn't really do anything because it stayed in this area, right? But if you go back and look at these candles weren't really too sure, right? They weren't really too sure because they weren't, big candles to the upside or big candles to the downside, right? For example, you see over here, when the move is actually the move, these candles are going to be big, right? These are big sell candles, right? Even this buy, these are little buy candles, right? So that pretty much tells you what, or it alerts you what, that the buy up is probably not the move, right? Or it's probably going to lose momentum, or that it's probably going to do what? Either buy up just to grab liquidity. And that's what it did, right? Because those candles are small. If you go to the smaller time frame, it's going to look the same, right? Or it's going to look even worse for that buy up, right? You see the buy up, look from today. Look at these candles. That's awful, right? It's not really clear. But you look at these sell candles and they're big, right? They're big, right? That's showing you kind of like price action, right? That's showing you that price is actually trying to go to the downside. Just like right now, during the agent session, you see these candles are small just because it's kind of setting up, right? Anytime you see a major move, the candles are going to be big. If the candles are not big and you're in something, be cautious, right? I'm not saying get out, but be cautious, right? Because if you were in the buy, you could have been cautious just because you've seen the candle size, right? You've seen it going up there for a possible liquidity grab, right? And you would know to, at least trace your SL in profit, right? Because those candles are not big buy candles, right? You even have one sell candle, two sell candle. You have that's a perfect sell candle right there, which pretty much means that it's going to drop, right? But you have all those signs that it's not really buying up, right? It's not really buying up. Then you have over here strong momentum to the downside with these candles being big, right? Big and prominent, right? So that's just one thing to watch for when you're in the trade. Always want to be cautious of that, right? So you got the candle size, you got a clear liquidity grab, you have a breaking structure, right? Breaking structure right here, pretty much the weekly structure. Right here is where I should have got in. That's when it broke the trend, right? That would have been our fire entry. It would have been up 2,600 pips. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. That's pretty much it. I'm checking price, but that's pretty much it, y'all. You know, everything played out pretty good today. Looking to finish the week pretty strong. Like I said, I'm expecting price to push down. If it doesn't, if it buys up, we'll be in a buy. Or if price just consolidates until Friday, you know, we'll leave it alone. But you know, good week so far. Price is looking pretty good. Let's get this year started off right. I need a lot more 1,000 pip trades, y'all. I need a lot more 1,000 pip trades, and I'm gonna get them. So just make sure y'all are in the back office. Make sure you're, you know, practicing up on, you know, what you need to practice on, and just be ready every week, right? And that's pretty much it. If y'all don't have any questions, I'll go ahead and end the call. And I will drop this in the back office, probably Friday or Saturday, and I can drop this tonight in the group chat or in the Telegram. I'll drop this tonight in the Telegram for y'all. Probably around, what time is it? 9:23. I gotta make a YouTube video, so probably I have it in there by 12 for sure. By 12 tonight, I'll have it in the Telegram. Just a recording. But that's pretty much it. No signals for London. I don't care how smooth it looks some days. I'm not really trying to trade London. So I'm gonna just stick to New York, and so y'all can just rest up unless you want to trade London, but I'm gonna just rest up into New York. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, if y'all have any questions, y'all can always ask in the chat too. Don't be, you know, you can always ask them. It don't even have to be pertaining to the signal. It could be about anything. But that's pretty much it. I'll go ahead and end this call, and I'll see you guys at the top because the bottom is definitely not an option.